Hello everyone, this is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for October 22nd through the 28th of 2023. So our quote for the week says, "Prepare for your future by readying yourself for change." Deep breath. This week is a powerful conception point, starting with Mercury entering Scorpio on Sunday the 22nd. The sun moves there on Monday the 23rd, so you know they're traveling together pretty closely, lighting things up for us. Mercury will be in Scorpio until November 10th, and when it's in Scorpio, it's asking, what have you learned about your own personal power to create your own world? What do you think about intimacy or your sex life at this time? How are you making yourself more valuable to the team so that you can establish more financial stability of your own? What mental attitude has run its course and needs to die so that a new mental attitude can live and thrive in real time? Things to remember about Mercury and Scorpio. I had to make this bullets list over the years because this is everything that comes up and it gets real deep. So you are being notified that it's a conception point in some way, shape, or form. You are conceiving a new way of thinking, perceiving, and processing what you're learning as you navigate the year. And of course, we're at the end of the year doing assessments for 2023 and preparing for 2024. Shadow work of any kind is deeply supported and particularly fruitful under this influence. It's also time to activate your inner detective and choose to investigate with no judgment on what you discover. You are merely gathering information on your own mind, mental body, mentality, how you think, express yourself, and process the world around you. It's time to communicate on a soul level and connect with your deepest emotions, face your fears, research taboos, dig out secrets that are growing toxic, and renew your connection to your own soul, Ashe. Anytime any planet's in Scorpio, we're going to the soul level. Here we sometimes access our own unique raw truth, which is more or less challenging depending on your individual nature. But remember, you are not only uncovering the dark negative ideas, thoughts, and concepts, but once certain things are brought into the light of conscious awareness, they can be transformed or transmuted so that the energy is liberated and freed up to be useful elsewhere. So too will you find your own buried treasure, hidden potential, or untapped resources that you have yet to consider. Anytime in the Scorpio realms, we have to acknowledge our own shadow. I suggest giving it something to do so that it doesn't undermine your evolution in toxic, repetitive patterns. This is a good time to reclaim the power of your mind. What are you allowing to influence your thoughts and ideas? It's time to reset to your original blueprint and start fresh in some way. Remember the creative and destructive power of language. It's time to renew your language or learn a new language altogether. Deep breath. Same day as Mercury enters Scorpio, its first thing is to trine Saturn, which has retrograded all the way back to 0 Pisces. So this is a very potent activation between our thinking and our reality and responsibilities and all that good Saturn juju. So here, this energy is good for deep thinking. We're already there because we're in Scorpio and Pisces, the depths. You are sharp and your standards are high because you're in strategy mode, or you should be. This is a more solitary energy though, so communications with others may be hampered a bit because it is time for you to hold your own at some new level. It's time to focus on the details that hold the big dream together, all the little things that make the grand vision work. Some folks respect that attention to detail, while others may consider it nitpicky. But it is what the energy supports at this time, so don't worry if others don't understand what you're going through. By the same token, you may also feel a little overwhelmed by the many little things that cannot be denied or delayed, and thus a sense of urgency to get it all done. Beware of a tendency toward pessimism, depression, or overwhelm. Try to stay focused on all the blessings that you do have and all that you have accomplished instead of what's still on the list of things to do in life. This energy is not intended to make you feel bad about all the things left yet to do, but encourage you to begin the necessary steps for manifesting your dreams. This energy just makes you focus on the practical side of manifesting. Clear the debris and begin to lay a new, clean, solid foundation beneath your goals. Saturn gets you present to the necessary steps, and Mercury helps you think clearly. We like that. But they're both in water signs, so we are thinking with our feelings. We are activating and depending on our instincts, intuition, psychic, empathic capacities, what you're picking up in multiple realms that will serve your Saturn reality in some good way. Now, as the sun has entered Scorpio, it too is going to trine Saturn. So this energy gives you the direction and discipline at the same time. And this one falls on the 24th, which is Tuesday. Use it consciously to fuel your goals at this time, and you will be blessed by your past efforts. You are completely supported to structure your life in a whole new way. It's time to take a personal inventory, organize your life, especially your home, office, or immediate environment. Naturally, this kind of shift will also affect those you relate with in these close environments, so be mindful of others who are not necessarily as clear as you may be at this time. A new order is trying to take root, which scares some and excites others. And this activation supports you and your personal definition of stability and good boundaries. You have access to focus and dedication that can set the tone for the whole next season as you clarify the connection between who you are and what you are truly responsible for in this lifetime. Evaluate your daily routine and see what is working and what is not, and move forward with some new choices. Okay, so here's where we add some spark to the mix, because basically I went and looked up all this good juju with Mercury and Mars and Jupiter, all this Taurus Scorpio energy going on this week that is getting stirred up, which is part of the inspiration for the quote for the week. Because anytime we go back to Scorpio, back to the soul level, we're conceiving. What we say is we conceive it at the Scorpio gate of power, and those seeds, they start to activate at winter solstice. They actually pop at the February gate, and then they're obvious by spring equinox. So we are preparing for rebirth, which is also a big Scorpio thing. So here we have Mars opposing Jupiter. This is a big deal because it takes Mars 2 years to make it around, Jupiter 12 years to make it around. And when I looked it up, the whole combo of Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter, I added a little note at the end here that the last time we had access to some of this energy of initiation and integration was 1999. So that was 24 years ago, y'all. 2 Jupiter cycles, 12 Mars cycles for them to line up around the same zone again with Taurus Scorpio. So this is a potent zone. And for my degrees people, it's 11 degrees. So that's a really powerful thing that it's going to circle back to in the future. It's deep, y'all. There's connections. Again, when we deal with the soul in Scorpio, we're dealing with the ancestors, DNA, affinity, and the long line. So just know it's going to be deep this week. So give yourself a little space to feel into what's coming into your conscious awareness. Now here we're jumping from Tuesday the 24th to Saturday the 28th, which is just a huge energy day, y'all. It just goes on and on to the break of dawn. This is the rest of our forecast is all on this day. Starting with Mars opposing Jupiter. So this is the perfect energy for working on your grand vision. And that is exactly what you'll feel like doing under this influence. Anything or anyone that blocks you from that should be consciously and kindly dealt with, and then get to it. Mars is action and Jupiter is expansion, and they are dancing together. It can be a selfish, undirected dance where no one wins, or it can be the beginning of something huge. You're using this energy to access the single-mindedness of Mars to accomplish the huge goals of Jupiter. The downfall of this energy is to allow the Mars ego to lead when it serves a better purpose, being the strength, not necessarily the strategy. And allow Jupiter's connection to the higher truth for you personally to guide you on your path. The Jupiter in you sees the bigger picture, your infinite potential that it longs to fulfill. Get out of your own way. Watch the inclination to overdo everything, spending, physical activity, overpromising, under-delivering, etc. Stay within your own physical limits, but expand the limits of your consciousness. Fellow astrologer Robert Hand says, the sense of timing of your actions may leave you and others amazed and sure that you're lucky. But really, you have succeeded because you have a complete understanding of the situation. Deep breath. So this integration between who you are and what you want and the higher consciousness, higher expression of that, there is, let's say, a push-pull integration piece that has to happen in order for you to step into that higher vision and expand your world in some way. But again, this Taurus Scorpio keeps it in the zone of conceiving and conception and power and infinite potential, and all seeds germinate in the darkness, across from that Taurus energy of manifestation and beauty and sustainability, being natural, right? That's a big piece that's happening, I see, just everywhere. So I love this because if we're going to look at it in order, we're deciding who we are and what we want first, and then our Mercury mind can start putting the pieces together. So here, happening the same day, because Mercury and Mars are about to link up on the 29th, and that's part of my postscript note here at the bottom of the blog. So stay tuned. Hold on. We're going to get through this energy of Mercury opposing Jupiter, and then we're going to put it all together. So any opposition requires us to work with two distinct energies and get them to work together for the good of all involved. It is also a midpoint, which allows you the 180-degree view from the other side of your starting point. In this case, that's roughly 6 months ago. Mercury and Jupiter are working out the push-pull within you between your mind and consciousness, between your thinking and beliefs, between your thoughts and imagination, between the tedious details and the grand vision. Because of all this, it would be tremendously beneficial to play amongst a group of like-hearted souls with varying points of view, mavericks who follow their intuition, as well as humble healers who also buck status quo by following their intuitive knowing within, something we all have the capacity for. This is great for what I call jam sessions, when my colleagues and I get together to discuss our ideas and insights about our professional goals. Something like that is a great use of this energy. Plan, strategize, discuss with others, get input and feedback, bounce ideas around, and be open and receptive to others' points of view because they may think of something that you didn't. Make sure it is a circle where all opinions are valued, even if not shared. This is a good one for learning something new and looking at things from another angle completely. Deep breath. So we are really getting to it on top of all that energy between Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter, which is all a big combo. In fact, let me move that special note because that's where it's relevant. Before we get to the eclipse, which is number 7 of 7, Taurus, Scorpio eclipses in the whole series, we had 7. 6 is kind of normal, 9 is a lot. It can happen. So my special note says this is all leading to tomorrow's initiation with Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio on 10/29, but that full description will be in next week's forecast. I just want to give you a heads up that it's all connected and we have to do this integration before we get to the initiation piece. And the last time we had access to this kind of conception of creative initiatory energy was in 1999. So think back to your values and priorities at that time and how you were expressing your own unique creativity. Also consider your psychic, intuitive, and empathic capacity back then and all that you have learned in 24 years. Now, I realize that some of you may only be that old, but that just means you were born with this powerful alignment. For the rest of us, it is rare access to upgrading your Taurus to Scorpio departments, and of course, the Leo Aquarius departments will adjust and adapt as needed to accommodate this evolution of consciousness that we are all going through one way or another. Another interesting aside is that November 3rd and 4th, which is coming up in just another week or two, the sun will do what Mercury is doing now. So it looks as if we have to change or upgrade our thinking and consciousness now so that we can express in all new ways going forward. The crazy thing is that on those days as the sun opposes Jupiter, and that's kind of all in alignment with this Scorpio Taurus energy, Venus opposes Neptune, that's Virgo Pisces, and Mercury opposes Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus is not left out, even though Jupiter gets a lot of the play. We are still being awakened and liberated on a whole deeper level in our Taurus departments. And while Mercury is moving through Scorpio, we're going to conceive some kind of new level of consciousness. So that is a lot for the personal planets to be mixing it up and activating so much integration. They're all oppositions, which means watch any extremes or all or nothing propositions and do your best to find the balanced, healthy middle ground between your personal individual evolution of consciousness and what is evolving on a larger scale socially and collectively. Okay? Your little individual human Mercury brain is not meant to process every single thing going on in the social collective. Absolutely not. You have limits. And this week with Saturn, we're going to find out what they are for your mental capacity or your mental health to be at its best. You just don't want to roll like that. So taking your power back to turn certain things off and to put limits on what you take in because you can only process so much. It would be like eating too much food. Your stomach can only handle so much. Well, so can your mind when it comes to world news and all that kind of stuff. So meantime, we're still on the 28th, which is Saturday. When all this is going down, we have the final 7 of 7 Taurus full moon lunar eclipse. So this full moon lunar eclipse is part of a series. 7 total, but here's the thing. 5 out of 7 are lunar eclipses, pointing to a major completion of a 20-year cycle that started in 02 to 05. So 2002 to 05 was the initiation of this 20-year cycle that just completed and initiated fresh and clean during basically 21 to 23. We are doing a lot of clearing to make room to conceive a new future. That said, it is also preceding the Scorpio new moon coming on November 13th, which is a major initiation. We have to do a clearing in order to literally conceive a whole new way of functioning on Earth, individually and collectively. We should start with looking for any excesses or famines that are hindering our new moon seeds that we want to plant in 2 weeks. The energy supports releasing that which is no longer important to you or no longer a priority in your life so that a new existence can come into being. Taurus energy can reveal where we've become stagnant, and the word that keeps coming to mind over and over again is movement. It's time to move your energy in a new way and create a moving meditation for yourself that helps get you back in touch with your own body. Scorpio likes to release and purify, while Taurus likes to acquire and solidify. So this is the best time of year to go through all your stuff, whether internal or external or a bit of both, and release as if you were moving into a smaller space. Downsize your life. As your personal clearing unfolds, you may find it's time to review your individual self-love, self-worth issues, especially as we release outer aspects of our lives and inner aspects of our being that used to be important, relevant, or useful, but have lost their life force energy. So it is time to release so we can make space for the new. Deep breath. We can create brand new ground for planting in the spring. In other words, clear out in preparation for. Fill in the blank with your own creative baby that's wanting to incarnate at this time. This is a potent time for consciously co-creating with the life-death-life cycle. What in and around you needs to die so that something of greater value can come into existence. Lighten the load there and open to conceiving a whole new life or new way of life for yourself. We are reconnecting to Source this month, so renew your connection to that which nourishes and sustains you with gratitude and faith in the future that we are seeding right now. Deep breath. So this is bigger than the annual Taurus full moon that might precede a Scorpio new moon that happens all the time in the fall. Here we're talking about the 10 and 20 year cycle, okay, all the way back to 02. So think bigger when you do that clearing, that purging, that release work, the clearing of the non-essential. Taurus is about our essential needs. It's about food, shelter, sex and money and the basics that allow us to be human on this planet. So we are redreaming that in a big way. Eclipses help us break to realign. There's an interruption in light, which allows our neural pathways to break and reset. And hopefully we don't slip back into old patterns. The whole idea is to break the patterns of the last 10 and 20 years and start something new with the energy that's available. Like we said, Jupiter being there once in 12 years, Uranus is there once in 84 years. That's some big Taurus energy. That's going on right now while we're having Taurus Scorpio eclipses. So that's a pretty big deal where we are upgrading the truth and story that we're telling, and we're liberating and awakening our consciousness to the value of Mother Earth and being natural and creating sustainable systems that allow us to grow together and not one species dominating another species and all that kind of thing. Taurus is about the beauty way. So we need to restore that balance and that relationship between us humans and Mother Earth, who provides everything for us. Everything. So it is an intense week this week, and you should give yourself a little space and energy and time to process what's coming up into your conscious awareness. Meantime, I'm linking early, even though the tools are not in there yet. I went ahead and made the stink medicine link so that you could register for the replay and tools for only $25. But the live event, if you want to join me live, is Wednesday, November 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And like I said, this will be in next week's forecast as well, because that'll be the official date that it happens. But I wanted to give you a heads up a little early so that you could prepare and register. And I will get that classroom populated over the next week. Also, that's Wednesday, November 1st. Thursday, November 2nd is the next monthly Venus circle. And this month we're covering Libra and the sacral chakra release, your creative center, doing a clearing there, clearing the saboteur archetype. And the story is all about bad company. So those shadow issues that come up in our Libra relationship choices and our creative center, our emotions and feelings, gets all turned around in there too. So we're doing a deep cleansing. And if you have strong Aries, Libra, or Cancer, Capricorn, you are going to feel it this month. So join us on Thursday, November 2nd, also 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and also $25 for the subscription. Our next fire ceremony will be Tuesday, November 7th. So that's actually a couple weeks away, but that link is also ready. So you are welcome to register early. It will be live Zoom from my backyard. It'll be the final season in this whole year where I have committed to doing those fire ceremonies. And they've gone beautifully. I think there was only one that got hailstorm came running through and I had to change the date. But otherwise, we've done really good with these fire ceremonies for an entire year together. And I'd like to keep it going in 24. So join us that Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And that is a free community event where donations are welcome and deeply appreciated. And the suggested donation is $22 or more. So do what you feel, do what you can. And at the bottom of my blog, I've been leaving in the Astro Tarot reading because that is a good one. And thank you all for your patience. After my trip to New Orleans, I've been catching up every single day something. And I am almost done. I still have like 2 of you, I think, left that I have to finish. So please bear with me. I so appreciate you. But if you'd like your own, and it's the end of the year, preparation for the new year, this is when I do schedule a lot of readings. And because I did not schedule any classes or anything else other than what I do on the weekends with Yay, readings are about all I can fit in right now with the ancestor work we're doing. It's pretty intense. We have lots of rituals going on. And the Soul Sister Circle invite for anyone wondering what my work is really all about. There's a 19-minute video that I put together with some pictures and my story, a little bit of my story anyway. But if you haven't seen that, that's kind of fun and interesting. And it's definitely the video that I encourage you all to share with others who do ask you about me and my work and what it's all about. That's the best thing to give people. So, all right, y'all, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I hope you can get under the sky to see the eclipse if possible. Okay, I'm pulling up the visibility thing real quick. It looks like very tip of northeastern America will be able to see it. Otherwise, South America and all of Europe is going to have a much better view. But the energy is still very strong. If I'm looking here, when I do my mojo around eclipses, I play with all this little timeline because this tells you when it first starts and you start to see the shadow and then it gets darker, 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 and then there's max where it's the total eclipse. In this case, we will probably only catch a little bit of a shadow, if that. But the energy begins at 11 a.m. Pacific, which would be 2 p.m. Eastern. And it goes all the way to 3:26 p.m. Pacific, which would be 6:26 Eastern. So that is essentially 4 hours, maybe 5. And those are during the day, so be careful in them streets, y'all, and at work and whatnot, because that is a Saturday, so maybe you're off and you can just enjoy the day with us. That's one of our ritual days. It's a big day. It's a Oya day. It's a number 9 day for my numbers people. And the eclipse. It's just a lot of energy for Saturday, October 28th. So pace yourself. Take care of yourself. Reach out if you need to. I hope you have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.